Video 2, Prison Planet, How to Escape It. So, you're not going to escape it in the flesh, because no matter where you're at, even if you started your own nation, you're going to have other people who show up on the scene, even if it was your own children, and then you would create the same old stuff. The devil would end up being worshipped again, even with your offspring. I hate to say it. It might be great grandchildren, but eventually the whole system, and then they're going to infiltrate, So it doesn't matter if it's a Freemason or a Jesuit or a Kabbalist or whoever's running this thing. They know they have to create some kind of sense of normalcy, some kind of sense of normalcy to keep people in the dream state, right? That you think this is normal. A Super Bowl's normal. A basketball game, none of it's normal. You see the same game every year. Anyway, make a long story short, what I'm saying is this. Even if you started your own nation, it eventually would turn into this again. Or maybe worse. And so the deal is you can't escape it in the natural because, like I say, the flesh is nothing but sin. And flesh creatures are going to create a system that's nothing but sinful. Sorry. The best government we have is, I guess, where the people rule, but think about it. Do the people really rule? Do you really get to vote it? I mean, they're still in elections. Come on. The whole thing is it's just an semblance of order, because the devil's not orderly, but he's got an orderly system of lies to deceive you, to keep you in your little dream world, your little box. So once you see through it, so how do you, if you can't escape it in the natural, how do you escape it? While you're here, the Bible says in Proverbs, find the work of your hands that is fitting, and then go build your house. In other words, what he's saying is, find the work, find your calling. There's always something to do, even in this devil system, whether if you're an electrician, plumber, carpenter, nurse, doctor, whatever it is. Whatever you find to do it with all your might, for in the grave there's no work. Now we know that's Old Testament Ecclesiastes, but New Testament, we're here. When we go to heaven, absent from the body, present with the Lord, everlasting joy and peace, and no more crying, and no more tears, and no more separation, and all that stuff. All the good stuff's going to be there. So while you're here, what can you do? You can try to bring heaven on earth in your little space. Okay, so what we found out with the internet is this. So you had your little world, then the internet appeared, and then you could reach the whole world, and you could meet a lot of people all over the world. And then you found out those people all over the world are just like you in your little space. So you expanded, and now you're contracting. See what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? You've expanded, but now it's boring. Everybody's starting to get tired of the internet, and now it's contracting, and you're just focused on your little world because you've already experienced what's out there. So the whole time, your little world is a fractal of the whole. And I was telling somebody today, I said, well, if you go to that person's house, and you go to that person's house, and you go to the same stuff's happening at everybody's house. It might be a little bit different, but it's pretty much the same stuff. And so when you compress into your little world, after you've experienced the internet and gone and experienced other people's worlds, you come to find out what they're doing is not that much more exciting. I mean, think about the actors and actresses and politicians. They might travel the country, or other countries. But really, is it that exciting? Really? you travel to a country where you don't know anybody, you don't know the culture, and if you stay there long enough, it's going to become routine and boring just like anything else. So you come to find out, won't you just improve your area? And how do you improve your area? Whatever you're doing, do it with a servant heart. So let's say you work around a bunch of heathen or whatever. Put a little bit of salt here and there, and eventually, if your heart's really right with God, eventually somebody might get saved. Somebody might grow. Somebody might. You're being an example, whether you're an example as a leader, or example as a servant, or servant leadership, or whatever example. Servant doing your job, being a team player on the job. You're making the place better, even though this is an evil place. Because you're here, you can make it better in your little world, your little realm, whether it's a home or whatever it is. Now, the Bible says not to be unequally yoked with unbelievers. But the way society is now, you've got to work around them. You've got to work around them. Unless you're just independently wealthy and you make money off of dividends or something. But you've got to work around them. And if you buy a house, unless it's on about 20 acres, you got to live around them too. You got to go to the grocery store, right? So when you go to the grocery store, let's say you were a multi-millionaire living out in the middle of nowhere, you still got to go to the grocery store unless you pay somebody to buy your groceries. But you're going to be affected by the world one way or the other. So the secret to escape the prison planet, and if it wasn't the Freemasons or the Jesuits or the Illuminati or whatever that's created this fake reality around you, the fake bubble, if it wasn't them, you still have boundaries by God. God has put you here, and the reason He's allowing these flesh creatures to rule is because your flesh needs to be cut. And so these cults and isms, which are religious cults, which is the flesh, a cult is the flesh. The witches, the warlocks, they're of the flesh, but you're saved, you're outside of time, you're outside the system spiritually. But God allows it, and even when He rules, He's ruling with a rod of iron, because the flesh is nothing but sin. Prone to wonder. The flesh is prone to wonder. And it needs to be held in check. And so because this system is so evil, it can cut out your flesh. And it teaches you how to take up your cross, deny yourself. Yeah, you might work around a heathen, but you can also realize that God died for that person too, just like they did you. Because you used to be a heathen. We've all been heathens at one point. And I'm not saying that you go out and party with them or whatever they do, because you know what's going to happen. They get mad at you because you don't run with them to the same excess of riot. They speak evil of you. But you can humble yourself. And so God will use even this Illuminati, Jesuit, Freemason system, demonic system that they pretty much worship the devil in hidden, in plain view, really. The 666 encoded everywhere. Just like the blood of His cross is encoded everywhere, 666 is encoded on the product and everywhere. They worship the devil. And so while you're here, you can escape and be free by finding something you enjoy doing, and do it with service, a servant heart. Service. Thank you for your service. Who's really serving? Is the person serving who goes and buys the product, or the person who's actually working behind the counter serving you the product? Who is serving? Both. Both are serving. They're coming there and giving you some money to buy a product to keep your job, right? So they're serving you in a way, and as you're serving them, and it's a reciprocal reality. This reality is reciprocal. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. No problem. Thank you. No problem. My pleasure. Thank you. It's my pleasure. Whatever they tell employees to say when they say, somebody comes up and says, thank you. Thank you. No problem. I'm here to serve. So who's serving really? Both. Both are servants. If you don't have a thankful spirit, I mean, think about it. Let's say you got sick, or something happened, or you had a flat tire. So you had a flat tire, and right there's a tire shop right there, yeah. And you walk over there, and I say, man, my tire's flat, I'm right here. And they come over and help, and you say, thank you. That's a service. So if you look at life as not like the worldlings, I'm just going to get a job, make some money, it's all about me. No, look at a job as a servant. You're serving. It could be a news broadcaster, it could be a weather forecast, whatever. It could be a bus driver, could be somebody at Walmart. You're actually helping people. Let's say somebody got sick at home, and they go to Walmart and they say, I really need some medicine. Where's the medicine? And you walk with them down there. Let's say it's some 70-year-old. I need some medicine. You walk with them and you show them where the Tylenol is or whatever. You're serving people. It's all about service. So to bring heaven down on the earth in this ridiculous, insane place that we're in, the greatest among you is a servant, right? Jesus said it. And so find something that you enjoy doing that can serve and help people. And believe it or not, you'll be blessed. I turned the app on. What time is it? 6 o'clock. I worked about an hour and a half. I made $40. Carrying about 6 people. I carried 6 people. Picked some people up from their job, carried them to the house. One person was going to drive a truck across the country, and I was talking to them about how in the olden days, a taxi, you don't know when they would show up, It was terrible. I said, this is a lot better than a taxi, right? They said, yeah. So I served 6 people with some transportation that they needed, dire need, because there was no drivers down there, because I guess all the drivers drove on Valentine's Day, and there was no drivers today, and they needed somebody to just get them to the house, or get them to their job. Anyway, long story short, it was a service. I didn't really care how much I made. I just wanted to make a little bit of cash, It'd been nice to make $100, but I made $38 an hour and a half. It's pretty good money, right? To be free, I can turn the app on and off as I like. Long story short, when you have the servant mindset down here in this prison planet flesh reality, you can actually be free in your inner man, in your soul, in your will, your emotions, because you find something you like to do to serve, and you help people. You always have to keep a boundary, because people will, this is true. You give them an inch, they'll try to take a mile. So you serve with boundaries. You serve with parameters, because they will try to take advantage. Most people are con artists. Most people are trying to get over. Most people are selfish, and most people don't think about service. I mean, if you're going to be here in this, I don't even know if I should call it a hellhole, but it's almost a hellhole. But it is, God does bless you. I mean, a lot of people, they'll say, look at Mother Earth and look how pretty the skyline is. Look how the trees are pretty and the scenery and all that. Yeah, but it'll kill you. That tree, I was cutting some trees down in the backyard the other day. One about fell on me. I had to jump out of the way. And it'll kill you. The weather, the hot weather will kill you. The cold weather will kill you. Wild animals out there in the woods kill you. Snake kill you. A deer kick you and knock you out. You could be killed in an instant with Mother Earth. So it might be nice to look at, but you ever try to mow your yard 90-degree weather? It ain't fun. My point is, it might be pretty on some things, like that tree. The fractal, to me, a fractal view of that tree is a work of art, but that tree ain't pretty when you get up close. From a distance, it might be. Even the moon. What does that moon do? It causes waves and tidal waves, the waves of the sea. So Mother Earth might be pretty, but she's dangerous. And that's true with, I hate to say it, but that's true with most women. They might be pretty, but they can be dangerous. The devil wears Prada, right? And it's true with all humans, really. So the sad part is, okay, yeah, it's a nice reality to look at. It's an enjoyable reality, soaking up the sun, jumping in a pool or whatever. It's enjoyable. But at the same time, it can turn deadly in an instant. Long story short, what am I saying? You got to be down here in this cycle, turning, birthing, pressure cooker machine. Hebrews, right? The book of Hebrews is He brews you. It's a brewing machine. You got to be down here in this pressure cooker, and it's turning you, and it's twisting you, and it's contorting, it's squeezing out the potter and the clay. He has to throw the lump of clay back down and get it to start over at times. So to move your mindset from a selfish to a servant mindset, and just whatever you do, serve. Because, you're not going to, where are you going to go? You might as well serve and enjoy it because you ain't got nothing else to do. Where are you going to go? Even if you're a millionaire, you're going to eventually run out of money, and people serving you, that's going to get old. Because then you're going to turn into a Hitler. If everybody's serving you, you're going to turn into a Hitler because it's Antichrist. Greatest among you is a servant. And so, do you really want to turn into a psychopath? Or do you want the pressure cooker to teach you to be a servant and enjoy service, whatever you like to do? What am I saying? The only way out of here is the rapture or death. And the other way out, while you're living it down here, is to be in a servant mindset, to do something you enjoy, to try to manage your ship, your house ship, your car ship, your body ship, your business ship, your job ship, whatever ship you're trying to manage it as best you can, and just trust God for the rest. Because if you really think about it, all the organs in your body are functioning in such a detailed manner. It's only by God's grace that your body even functions. And so one little mistake or chemical imbalance or something could kill you. An organ could just malfunction. My point is, if you get your heart right and get a servant mindset and stay in joy and peace, you're going to probably be more healthy. Because what I'm finding out, because I'm studying some medical stuff, what I'm finding out, it's so complicated, even the doctors don't even know what's going on, really. They can get the basics, but they don't really understand. God's holding it all together, and the human body and the brain and all that is so, there's so much going on. They don't even, some of these some of these proteins and stuff, they don't even know how it even works. They just have to experiment just like you do. But you know certain things. You go to sleep when it's dark. You eat your 3 meals a day. You do a fasting. You just cut back sugar. You drink more water. You eat a few vegetables. You know you take some vitamins. You know some basics. But the biggest thing is stay in peace. And so how are you going to stay in peace? When if you're on a job you hate, or if you're around people you hate, if you try to find a job that you enjoy and you try to look at those people as somebody you can serve, and you might be able to reach one with some truth, it can change your whole world. It can change your health. That's my point. So you won't escape it unless you get raptured out or you die. But the way to escape it while you're walking down here is find something to serve people, and something that gives you peace, you know. You might have to go through some trouble to find that, and you might have to go through quite a few jobs to find the one that fits you, or the career, or whatever. You might have to go through some tribulation, but eventually when you find it, be happy, be content where you are.